Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. It's Monday. It is February 10th. I just got in from a walk. It is cold out there. Cold. It's cold. But if it's not cold where you are, that's great. Happy to hear it. If you're joining us live for this Monday morning motivation, please say hello in the comments. Good morning, Snowbird. So it's Monday. It's February 10th. And I am going to share a little story, which just is, the usual food for thought. Monday morning motivation is all about food for thought for your week. And good morning, Linda. We work on decluttering our homes and our lives at Clutter Boss. It is our motto is it's all clutter. All clutter is connected. It's not just the stuff in your house, it's everything, and it's all connected to different areas of your life. It's really looking at things through an integrated lens. So not isolating one thing from another thing, I think makes a lot of sense in all areas of life. Medically, it makes sense. Educationally, it makes sense. And when it comes to your clutter, it makes sense to not isolate the clutter from other things. I don't talk a ton about my personal decluttering journey that I went on well before I was a professional organizer, before I started Clutter Boss, all of that. Good morning, Linda, Mitzi, Linda, Brenda. Good morning. Good morning. I don't talk about it a ton, and I don't talk too much about where I am right now with my decluttering journey because it's different, so different than most of the members of our community because it's been years and years. And sometimes though, I feel like I do need to share a little bit more because it is relevant. So I did something this weekend, and you're going to laugh when you hear what it is, but it's something I don't normally do. And as my decluttering journey has progressed over the years, so I did my big giant decluttering and went through this whole process of figuring out how things are connected and why I felt so overwhelmed all the time and what I wanted out of life and what I didn't want out of life and all of these things. And it took me years and years and years. And I started with a cluttered house and a very cluttered life. And what I've ended with now, not that it's the end, but where I am right now is a fairly well decluttered house. Everything has a spot. I have a home that I absolutely love. I love being in my house. I love being home. I love coming home from vacation to my home. I love my home. But I also have a decluttered life. It's not just about your house and your home, it's about your entire life. And over the course of this last 15, 20 years that I've been really focusing in on this, figuring it out in my own life, like learning from other people, learning how to guide other people through this process, I've ended up decluttering a lot of overwhelm from my life. Just things that overwhelm me, I don't participate in very much anymore. I clear clutter in all areas because it's all connected. And if you get overwhelmed over here, you're going to feel overwhelmed over here. And the overwhelm, we hear this over and over and over again. I'm overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed. Who can relate to this? Good morning, Brenda, Dee Dee, Tammy, Terry, Julie, Trish. Good morning. Good morning. So I did something this weekend that I don't normally do, and it's such a routine, everyday task that sometimes I don't even like to share that it's something I don't do because I feel like people might judge me or whatever. I'm really building it up, but I went to the grocery store. I went grocery shopping. So I find shopping in general, as I went through this decluttering process, I recognized that shopping was a big trigger of overwhelm in my life. Just walking into a store, trying to figure out what I needed, just grabbing stuff because there's so many choices. And during COVID, Instacart came to my area and I just started Instacarting my groceries, and it saved me time, it saved me money, but most importantly is it saved my sanity because the less that you shop, the more overwhelming that it feels when you go and do it. So I very, very rarely go into a grocery store anymore. And That's actually a huge part of my decluttering journey is recognizing things that make me feel overwhelmed and figuring out ways to change how I live my life so I don't need to be in those overwhelming situations all the time or frequently. And so anyway, um so I don't normally go to the grocery store. I just don't. I just have groceries brought to my house. That's what I do. And I think it probably saves me money, but maybe it's a wash. I don't think it cost me more money, but even if it did cost me more money, because I'm not impulse shopping ever. Even if it did cost me more money, it would be worth it because my sanity is worth basically everything. And your sanity is worth absolutely everything. And my Monday morning motivation for you is just a really gentle reminder that it is up to us to protect our sanity. And if other people might look at you and say, "Oh, you don't grocery shop, like you're too good for grocery shopping or you're spending more money on, Instacarting," or like there's a lot of judgment from other people around the choices that we make, especially when those choices are to prioritize our sanity. And I think that judgment might come from a point more of um, like reflection on self and maybe a little bit of jealousy or not understanding. Wherever the judgment comes from, it doesn't really matter. It only matters that what you're doing, what is absolute best for you. And when I went to the grocery store this weekend, I was it hit me like a ton of bricks. It reminded me how overwhelming that experience was to me and can be still, and how overwhelm hits us in 2025, in this day and age. Overwhelm comes from every angle, it comes from every aspect of our lives. And we have to be the ones to say, I am making changes so that I am not overwhelmed. Making changes so I'm not overwhelmed. I opened up my email this morning and I have like 25 unread email like in my primary inbox, right? And that feels very overwhelming to me. So after this, I'm going to also take 20 minutes and just unsubscribe from as much as I possibly can because this is getting to be too much for me. And just really, this decluttering journey is not just about the stuff in your house. That's a huge part of it, but there's so much more to it. And sometimes we can get these parallel skill sets, right? So if we recognize that going grocery shopping is feeling very overwhelming and we're going to make a change so we can prioritize our sanity, that's a very empowering thing to do. And sometimes making that small change, not only does it give you back your time, but it gives you the mental energy that you need to tackle the clutter in your house or vice versa. So I want to encourage you when you feel overwhelmed, see if there's something that you can control that will lessen the overwhelm. And maybe it's not grocery shopping. Maybe it's unsubscribing from emails. Maybe it's ripping up your credit cards because it's so overwhelming every time you go to the store or you open up your computer and there's just ads flying at you nonstop. And you're like, I'm done. I'm done with this. I'm actually done with this. This is not helping me. It is just, it's bringing me down. Maybe that's something that you can do. There's so many different ways that we can stop overwhelm, but we have to be the ones that do it. So this is your motivation for the week. Go figure out some area of your life that is overwhelming you and figure out how to switch it around. Prioritize your sanity. Prioritize your sanity. All right. Yeah, I see so much in here in the comments. Yeah, saving, yep, we all grocery delivery is it is a blessing. It is a blessing, absolutely. All right, sending you all lots of love. Go figure out reducing the overwhelm, getting rid of something that is no longer serving you, and prioritizing your sanity. Happy Monday, my friends. Go crush it this week.